This is John and Pam from Imagineering. We are as guests and Disney fans as well, because this is sort of that first real big kind of e-ticket, because I'm old school, e-ticket attraction since something like Splash Mountain.
Yeah, that's true. It's the first major addition to this park in many years, but we're really, really excited that it sort of sits in the heart of Fantasyland and again, really finishes the largest expansion in the history of this park.
And being the show producer, I know it always comes back to a single concept, which is all about story, right? You've sort of taken that Snow White's not so scary adventures and made it something else, but really sort of keeping to the storyline and the integrity of the characters. How do you sort of take that classic dark ride and make it into something like this?
Well, we take iconic elements from the animated classic and we reproduce it and replicate it inside this attraction. And you'll see very famous, and with fun and thrills and humor, you'll see those iconic elements in this attraction. It's all about storytelling and immersing our guests in that environment, and then know that the dwarfs is the story, is the backbone of this attraction.
When you say dwarfs, you looked right at me when you said dwarfs, as if like, I'm among my people here, so this ride was made just for me. But the thing about, and look, there's a lot of great elements to this. The first and foremost, again, we have this mountain, this next in the Disney mountain range. It's an attraction that is a 360 degree. We as guests can see it from so many different angles, but the first thing that really strikes us is the ride system and the ride vehicles themselves. Can you talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, you know, we actually own a patent on this ride system. It's the first swinging bucket roller coaster system that we've ever attempted. I think one of our Imagineers in Blue Sky came up with this idea around the same time that we were working on this concept, and when we watched the film, the little bucket that was used in the mine itself in the original animated feature, we kind of put those two together and we had this perfect match. And we did a lot of testing of the ride. We prototyped it in Glendale, and then we think it's a really unique, very family-friendly experience.
And it's been great to sort of watch the genesis of that ride, as we saw, you know, Imagineering sort of leaking out little by little what it looked like. I still am an Indiana Jones fan, so this is my chance to sort of be not just in this film, but in that film as well. Talk to us about the technology, not just on the ride system itself, but I have to imagine, you know, audio animatronics and the queue itself.
Well, I think Walt would be very proud of us, because we've started with great moments of Mr. Lincoln. We started the animatronics, moving it forward to Buzz Lightyear, and just recently Lumiere. So I think you'll be very excited to see how these dwarfs have come around, and we use technology, collaborating with feature animation to bring our dwarfs to to life.
The thing that about this too, as we've watched it, as I said, sort of grow out of the pavement, is just how beautifully it's constructed. The rock work and the detail and the woodwork not just fits so well into Fantasyland, but really gives us the sense, it gives me the same sense that I got when I walked into Cars Land for the first time, that I'm stepping foot into the film.
Well, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. Cars Land, the bar is really high, obviously, as we all know. I mean, I think our team really strived here to get the most detail that they could. It's in the heart of the Magic Kingdom, the busiest theme park in the world. So we really wanted to do something special for our guests, and we think everyone, including yourself, will really appreciate that attention to detail.
And I am all about the details, and I tell people all the time, it's about not rushing. Look, you should obviously rush to get here and get your Fast Pass Plus, but slowing down and taking your time and paying attention not just to what you see, but even what you hear. So as I'm listening, and I haven't been on the attraction yet, I'm hearing sort of elements that sort of, I hear birds chirping and I hear the mine cart going by. Talk to us about some of those, not just visual details, but the audio elements and music as well.
Well, we were able to take the original score from the animated classic and use it in our background music, as well as through our very famous, when you go outside, as well as when you go inside and see the dwarfs working, iconic composing these messages, orchestrated music that will really bring you and immerse you into that feeling, sights and sounds as well.
So give us a hint about some of the things we should be looking for, maybe some of those surprises that maybe we were not necessarily expecting the first time we ride.
I think the ride itself is full of surprises. It comes right out of the station and gets active right away. I think the swinging effect is really wonderful on board, and it's great to watch off board. There's a lot of activation of the landscape, as you said, all the way around the mountain. That's really exciting. I think the journey to the Dwarfs Mine, and when you finally meet the Seven Dwarfs, I think honestly this is probably the most, we brought these dwarfs to life with a whole new level of realism, and I think guests will really feel like they've interacted with these characters in a very unique way for the first time.
For me, I see the opportunity for a high re-rideability factor in terms of not just riding over it, but I can't wait to ride it like at dusk and at night, because it's going to be a completely different experience.
I think the vistas that you'll get when you come up the very last of our lifts and you look out and you can see Be Our Guest Castle and Cinderella's Castle, that beautiful vista that you get just for a few moments will really, it'd be a hair-raising opportunity for our guests.
We got to time it just right so you're at the right part of the hill so you can see the fireworks overhead as well.
That would be a great moment for sure.
Well, you mentioned Walt Disney, and it all does go back to Walt. And, I think he would be proud. And I would love to sort of see the expressions on the faces who said that Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was Disney's folly, and it would never work. And you've come a long way since then. I'm excited to ride. I'm sure you guys are excited to see the reaction on guests' faces. So thank you for all the work that you and your team has put in.
Thank you so much.
I can't wait for you to ride it.
These are my people. I'm the eighth dwarf.